Washington. Washington State is one of the most desirable states in all of America, and residents are moving there because of its economy and jobs, excellent education opportunities, outdoor recreation, and of course, its natural beauty. Washington is not perfect, but there are many incredible things about the state. Let's take a look at the Evergreen State to see if it's right for you. The state's population sits at just over 7.5 million residents, and Washington has seen consistent growth throughout the last 20 years. The household median income is over $70,000, and the median home value sits at just over $440,000. Remember, if you are looking to live outside of the Seattle or King County areas, these prices and salaries can be quite a bit lower. The cost of living in Seattle is significantly higher than the national average, but Washington itself is only slightly higher. Because of its expensive nature, those high salaries come in handy. The property tax in Washington is just slightly lower than the national average, while residents enjoy paying no income tax in the state. Businesses aren't charged corporate tax, rather they're charged at 1.5% of the gross receipts tax. Throughout most of the state, you can expect sales tax to be around 8%. However, if you're around the Seattle area, you can expect that to be around 10%. Violent crime in the state of Washington is 18% lower than the national average, and the vast majority of the state is pretty safe, even some of the mid-sized cities, like Vancouver, Bellevue, and the Tri-Cities. However, it's not all sunshine and roses here. Seattle, Spokane, and Tacoma have some areas with really bad crime numbers. Seattle has a homelessness epidemic. Earlier this year, Forbes ranked Seattle as the area with the third most homeless residents in America, even beating out San Francisco. This just might be one of the reasons that Washington's property crime rate is 29% higher than the national average. While Tacoma and Seattle see more than double the national average of property crimes, Spokane beats both of them at almost 2.7 times higher than the national average. The silver lining is, once you get outside of these three cities, many surrounding suburbs have significantly less crime and more prosperity in general. Keep in mind, most big metropolitan cities have crime problems, but if you are moving to one of these areas, you may find it helpful to see which types of crimes may occur in these areas so you can take any necessary precautions. Washington's diversity numbers are as follows. 69.8% of the residents are white, 12.3% are Hispanic, 3.5% are black, 8% are Asian, 1.1% are Native American, 0.6% are Hawaiian or Pacific Islander, and 4.6% are two or more races. In Seattle, they have a Chinatown district, which is considered one of the historic neighborhoods of the city. They have shops, restaurants, and galleries to check out, and have a great time. In the Northwest, we can't talk about culture without bringing up the hipsters. We all know they love their skinny jeans and their coffee, but there are actually lots of nice niche restaurants, coffee shops, and places that offer other unique experiences. The political climate in Washington is considered to be pretty liberal, but it's important to note the concentration of people who are liberal are mostly in the western part of the state and especially the Seattle metro area. The central and eastern part of the states are pretty heavily conservative in most places. In the 2016 election, Hillary Clinton won 52.5% of the vote, Donald Trump won 36.8% of the vote, and 10.6% went to other candidates. Now, while Washington is considered liberal, as we mentioned before, they're not too intrusive when it comes to taxes, so mostly you can think about Washington's politics as affecting your lifestyles rather than your wallet. Although during the COVID era, they've been pretty restrictive of most things, but in general, the government doesn't really restrict much when it comes to your business. People who have not been to Washington are often surprised by how diverse the state's climate is. The central part is very mountainous and receives the majority of the state's snowfall. You can expect mild winters here, and in the western part of the state, which receives the most rain, and experiences mild winter temperatures as well. The eastern part of the state is actually primarily comprised of desert and averages the warmest summer temperatures and receives more snow than western Washington does in many places. If you are looking to live in the Seattle area, keep in mind they receive very little sunlight. Many people don't get tired of the rain as much as they do the days of gray and gloom. The statewide averages are 165 days of sunshine, 38 inches of rain, 18 inches of snow. The summer highs in July are around 79 degrees, and winter lows average out to be 31 degrees in January. Throughout most of the state, Washington receives great weather during the summer and mild temperatures during the winters when compared to the Midwest and back east. But keep in mind, you will not see the sun very much in many places in the western part of the state. Entertainment in Washington is primarily based off of either metropolitan activities, road tripping, or by getting out into nature. In Seattle, residents enjoy attending concerts, visiting one of their many museums, going to a coffee shop or brewery, and journeying into Vancouver and Victoria, BC. Residents enjoy going to see the beautiful city of Leavenworth, which is a Bavarian-styled village in the heart of the mountains, going to the peninsula to enjoy the rugged outdoors, or driving to Lake Chelan to go boating and enjoy the small-town feel. Washington has 3 national parks, a beautiful but chilly coastline, and many world-renowned destinations. Residents in Washington really value the natural beauty of the state. Many take advantage of this by hiking in the beautiful mountains, fishing off the coast, rivers, and lakes, and even walking around the beautiful city parks. Entertainment in Washington may not be as lively as LA or Vegas, but many places in the state offer fun and fulfilling adventure opportunities. Now we're going to take a look at 4 of the biggest cities or metro areas in the state of Washington. Seattle is best known for Pike Place Market, the Gum Wall, and the Space Needle, but those are really all quite touristy areas. Residents enjoy beautiful summer weather, clean air, great parks, and their beloved Seattle Seahawks. As we mentioned earlier, there are problems in Seattle, and many of them in fact, but lots of people are still moving there despite these concerns. Spokane has beautiful city and nature trails. They are home to the Gonzaga Bulldogs basketball team, and they have Spokane Falls, the second largest urban waterfall in the U.S. Spokane's Hoop Fest overtakes the city for a week every summer. People come from all over the world to participate or watch the world's biggest 3-on-3 basketball tournament. It's truly a can't-miss event if you're anywhere near Spokane when it's running. Vancouver is right across from the Columbia River in Portland, Oregon, and many residents love having the best of both worlds. They work in Washington and don't pay income tax, and go to Portland to enjoy the city and all of its weirdness. Vancouver is a great family town, and they have recently established a beautiful waterfront district. It's a great place to go on a walk, go out to dinner, and of course, go pet someone's dog. The Tri-Cities are the 3 mid-sized cities of Kennewick, Pasco, and Richland, and their community is heavily based on agriculture. They are a bit isolated from other areas in the state, but people move here for the slower pace of life and family environment. Now, there are some areas to avoid in the Tri-Cities, but for the most part, it's pretty laid back. It is also considered the heart of wine country, so it's definitely worth a consideration if you are interested in starting a vineyard or if you're a wine connoisseur yourself. So, who would enjoy living in the state of Washington? Well, primarily people who are a bit more liberal and artistic would enjoy living in Seattle. People who are looking for peaceful, green suburbs with good education opportunities for their children would enjoy living in the areas that surround Lake Sammamish and Vancouver in the south. If you love the great outdoors, many places in the state can quench your thirst for exploration. Washington is far from perfect, but there are many amazing things about living in this state. Thank you for watching the video today. If you enjoyed this video, please go ahead and like the video and consider subscribing. I have more videos overviewing different states on the way. If you have a question, or think maybe I left something off the list, go ahead and comment down below. I hope everyone out there is staying safe, and that we'll see you again next time. Take care.